We wanted to focus on problems relating to water in our basin, and we wanted to involve artists and scientists because those seem to be two really different ways of working with problems, issues, opportunities in the world. And these problems, issues, opportunities are so complex and so daunting that we feel like we needed as much diversity of approach as we could get into one process.
We started with the ecology students doing some research. They worked individually to come up with proposals that explored a problem and an opportunity in the Cape Fear River Basin.
So they sent us like 12 individual research proposals, and our 12 members in our class responded with, well, I mean, it's very ambiguous. I mean, we responded with sculptures.
We had a stuffed pig splayed open. It was set in this very sterile environment that was mimicking an operating room, and it was meant to represent how we're destroying the river through the use of pig farming and CAFAs. Like the pig is being kept alive while being destroyed, the river is also being just barely kept alive while we're destroying it as well.
Art and science are not separated at all. You look under a microscope and you see the little intricate patterns that cells make. That's art.
We made a man kneeling in a wooden basin, throwing up into his own arms, and his throw up, though, like water running out of his mouth, is going over rocks in his arms, and then out over his hands, clean water is coming out. And it's meant to represent bioswales.
And then the other solution is microremediation, which is basically the use of mushrooms, which are able to convert toxins into food for themselves and thereby sort of clean the area.
You can read a paper, but it'll just go right through one ear to the other, whereas you see this and you can't really ignore it.
What we have is the water flowing out of the basin up into the tank of the toilet, which is this large pig, and back into the basin of the actual toilet, where we have plants. What it's meant to represent is the detrimental effects of hog waste on the Cape Fear River Basin, and one of the solutions possible is to use plants in these lagoons to draw out some of the high concentrations of chemicals that are affecting the river downstream.
Our project was a representation of a dam, and on the dam there were human figures struggling to get to the other side, and we painted the human figures as fish to represent the struggle that fish have in the Cape Fear River Basin of getting over dams to better waters, breeding grounds, food, things like that.
That's probably the thing I liked the most, was actually being there and seeing everybody's responses, and everybody was really like proud of everybody. I mean, you know, the public, they were really impressed.
I learned so much doing this, especially with just working with other people from other disciplines where maybe you wouldn't meet outside of your major, like in the real world. You're kind of just like connecting with different minds that you're not used to. So
I think collaboration across all sorts of disciplines is going to be necessary to solve some of the problems that we're having to deal with right now.
I know if we didn't have this collaboration, it would have been more like a research paper where we found a problem in the Cape Fear River Basin and did research on it, found sources, wrote a paper. But then with this, it wasn't like that at all, but I still feel like I learned a lot from it.
This is the kind of thing that is Guilford. This is the kind of thing that makes Guilford what it is and can make Guilford what it wants or needs or should be. The idea of creating learning experiences that are real and really engaging is going to happen when we think outside of our boxes, and that may be outside of our departments and our disciplines.
There's just no way that a single kind of mind can deal with the troubles that we have found ourselves in the Cape Fear River Basin with regards to water and pollution. And the only real answer is to see if we can build ways of collaborating across great difference.
What art and science share is we're trying to tell stories, and with telling a story comes similar challenges of you have to get people to listen.